early 1990s, railroads were heavily investing into AC traction as fuel costs skyrocketed. Compared to the older DC traction, AC traction motors were simpler to maintain, had lower fuel consumption ratings, and was, well, overall relatively cheaper than the older DC current. EMD was caught by surprise when GE introduced the game-changing Dash 9s and AC44s, which dominated the railroad market upon their introduction. Not to be outdone, EMD teamed up with German engineering company Siemens Mobility to create their first fully AC traction 6-axle locomotive with a newly designed cab known as the Whisper Cab. The Whisper Cab was the result of numerous complaints by BN crews about the uncomfortable ride and noise produced by the old SD70M Triclops cabs. The new cabs were fitted with rubber gaskets separating from the mainframe, allowing for a much smoother ride and a way less noisy cab, hence the name Whisper. EMD sought to challenge the GE brutes by taking the design from the EMD SD60M, specifically the Triclops design, and added new trucks, a new 4,300 horsepower engine, longer fuel tanks, new AC traction motors, slightly enlarged radiators, new electronics, and the most physical difference, the new Whisper Cab design. EMD rolled out 3 new prototypes from their Indiana shops in July 1992, numbered EMD-X 7000, EMD-X 7001, and EMD-X 7002. These units then went to Burlington Northern for testing on their coal trains in Wyoming, and after a successful testing campaign, the SD70MAcs were ordered en masse. Railroads such as Canadian National, Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, Burlington Northern, Conrail, and Santa Fe ordered these units between 1993 and 2004, with Union Pacific ordering a majority of the new model, ordering 1,100 models in one order. Seeing the success of the prototypes, CSX made a good decision, about time by the way, and ordered 220 Macs, and then went ahead and further bought another 25, including the original prototypes. And then after the acquisition with Conrail, acquired another 15 SD70MAcs. CSX numbers these units 4500 to 4589, 4701 to 4830, with 4575 and 4589 being the original 15 Conrail Macs. Upon delivery to CSX, crews were pleased by the new wide Whisper Cab design, noting that it was way more comfortable than the old standard cab first generation SD70s. During their original careers on CSX, these noble locomotives often proved themselves quite the competitor to the GEs, holding their own in the mountains of eastern Kentucky to hauling fast Tropicana juice trains out of Florida. However, these units weren't entirely perfect. After talking to various crews on the CSX CC subdivision, it was widely noted by them that the Macs had a horrible tendency to slip, nicknaming it the Slip-O-Matic, and it was very difficult to get the train started, leading to wheel slip and damage to the rail. Nonetheless, these units have been worked to the bone, serving CSX for almost 20 years, and eventually, it was either time to retire them or give them new life. Hunter Harrison's aggressive push for PSR took over CSX in 2017. Many of the most beloved locomotives by rail fans were sidelined, and sadly began rusting away with their futures bleak. The Dash 8s, Dash 9s, SD50s, SD60s, SD38s, SD40s, and of course the SD70MAcs were stored in yards such as Waycross, Georgia and Cumberland, West Virginia for 3 years until 2019. CSX saw how successful BNSF's attempts at rebuilding their SD70 fleet became, and instead of buying more Tier 4 aces, decided to breathe new life into these old EMDs. 25 units were taken out of storage and moved to CSX's Huntington, West Virginia locomotive shops for an overhaul. These units, named SD70ACs or SD70MACs, were equipped with PTC equipment, have their old Siemens electronics replaced by new Mitsubishi electronics, given new axle control inverters, new engine blocks, a new refurbished cab, CCB2 air brakes, LED displays, and a new camera system. So far, over 30 of these SD70ACs have been rolling on CSX rails as of the making of this video. and more are planned. The Macs sure have a bright future ahead of them. The EMD SD70MAcs are powered by the iconic 4,300 horsepower EMD 16-cylinder 710-G3C engine with a 2-stroke cycle and a turbocharger. Max RPM for these units is 904 RPM, and the minimum RPM is 318. These units come with an EMD TA17/CA7A main alternator and 6 1TB2630 traction motors. The SD70MAcs have HTC R2 steerable 6-axle trucks with a wheel diameter of 42 inches and a gearing ratio of 70/17. The Macs speed along at 70 miles an hour, which seems to be pretty much the normal for every freight locomotive these days. These units come with 6 traction motor blowers and Westinghouse air brakes. The Macs have a starting tractive effort of 175,000 pounds of force and 137,000 pounds of continuous tractive effort. These units are 74 feet 2 inches long, 15 feet 7 inches tall, and 10 feet 3 inches wide. This makes the SD70MAcs the largest locomotives we have covered so far in the series. However, with these units coming in at 207 tons, this makes it the lightest unit in the series. They carry 5,000 gallons of fuel, 450 gallons of lubricant, and 390 gallons of coolant. All CSX SD70MAcs and their rebuilds come equipped with first and second generation K5LAs, with the only exception being CSX 4772, an ex-Conrail unit with an RS5T. Here are some examples. The SD stands for Special Duty, 70 for the model number, and AC for the AC traction. Several CSX SD70MAcs wore stickers for fallen railroads, and some of them were given spirit stickers. These units are CSX 4500, the Spirit of Cumberland, CSX 4589, the Spirit of Nashville, CSX 4688, the Spirit of Tampa, CSX 4551, B&O sticker, CSX 4453, RF and P sticker, and lastly, CSX 4558, the C&O sticker. Fun fact, later orders of CSX SD70MAcs were delivered with EMD SD45 style flared radiators, which to my knowledge do nothing but make the unit look cooler. I mean, I guess it worked. While the EMD SD70MAcs may not have overtaken the AC44s and the Dash 9s in the market, they put EMD back on the map after the disaster that was the SD50s. These units are adored by rail fans from all over, and with new life being given to them as rebuilds, these units will continue to serve the rails for years to come. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's been a while since I've done an EMD locomotive, and this one was requested just as much as the AC6000s were. As always, drop a comment down below on what locomotive you guys want next. Goodbye for now, and stay safe out there, rail fans.